When Kamala Harris went on The View and was asked how she would have differed from Biden, instead of basically saying nothing different, she should have said, "I would have shut down the border early and hard." The second error was an overzealous misuse of law to punish Trump. The most egregious of the cases pursued was Alvin Bragg's one in New York, one that even he was once skeptical of, but was reportedly pressured by some on the left into pursuing.
What's up, everyone? In this explosive take, Zakaria wrestles with Trump's unexpected surge in popularity and grapples with the consequences of recent Democratic missteps. We're diving into the hypocrisy, mischances, and policies that shifted public sentiment, and the ripple effects seen now in American politics. Key figures in this discussion: Trump, Democrats, and Fareed himself, who's visibly shaken as he analyzes the numbers, indictments, and identifies politics that led to this moment. Let's break down exactly how we got here. Let's get into it.
The American economy is doing better than all these other nations. Employment is strong, wages are up, inflation is down, productivity is soaring. More importantly, Donald Trump has many strengths as a political figure, but he also has many weaknesses. Let's recall that after January 6, 2021, Trump's approval rating was down to 34% in a CNN poll. In a Marquette Law School poll matchup a year later, Joe Biden was beating him by 10 points nationally, 43 to 33. Then came the overturning of Roe v. Wade and the 2022 midterms, in which the Republicans did very badly for a midterm and MAGA candidates in particular got crushed. Trump's favorability ratings sank to 31% in a CNN poll.
Fareed's analysis of Trump's poll numbers is misguided. He's assuming Trump's past favorability dip is enough to keep him down, ignoring the power of grievance-based politics. Trump has painted himself as an outsider, and that resonates with voters who feel forgotten by the system Fareed defends. This isn't just about popularity, it's about a deeper connection with an audience that feels betrayed. Fareed keeps hoping that past numbers will save the Democrats, but he's misreading a moment that doesn't care about CNN polling data. Trump's appeal is emotional, not statistical.
With an unfavorable rating at a staggering 60%. Even Republicans were disillusioned with him. At this point, Trump had led a Republican Party that lost its House majority in 2018, its Senate majority and the presidency in the 2020 cycle, and then fared historically badly in those 2022 midterms. In December 2022, Ron DeSantis was outpolling Trump easily among Republicans in a Wall Street Journal poll. That was the Democratic Party's strongest moment since Trump's arrival on the political landscape. But they blew it. They missed a massive shift in American public opinion in just a few years. In 2020, the percentage of Americans who wanted to decrease immigration was just 28%. By this year, it was 55%.
This is a wake-up call that the Democrats ignored for far too long. Fareed acts like this shift in opinion is sudden, but it's a direct result of a tone-deaf approach to one of America's biggest concerns. By dismissing real issues on immigration, the left pushed voters straight into Trump's camp, and they're still not willing to confront why this shift happened. The numbers don't lie, Fareed. Americans are looking for real solutions. They're not finding them on the left, which is the reason, obviously, we got the result that we got.
When Kamala Harris went on The View and was asked how she would have differed from Biden, instead of basically saying nothing different, she should have said, "I would have shut down the border early and hard." The second error was an overzealous misuse of law to punish Trump. The most egregious of the cases pursued was Alvin Bragg's one in New York, one that even he was once skeptical of, but was reportedly pressured by some on the left into pursuing. Some cases, like the Georgia one, were legitimate, but the host of them piled on in rapid succession gave the impression that the legal system was being weaponized to get Trump. It confirmed to his base what it had always believed, that overeducated urban liberals were hypocrites, happy to bend rules and norms when it suited their purposes. It's worth noting that in this week's election, a CNN exit poll found that among those who believe that democracy in the U.S. is threatened, a majority supported Trump. Lawfare turned Trump from being a loser into a victim.
This is a big moment. Fareed doesn't want to fully acknowledge by prosecuting Trump in a way that feels overly political, the left has inadvertently made him a symbol of resistance. Fareed knows that, deep down, this isn't just about law enforcement, it's about using the system as a tool to punish an opponent. This lawfare turned Trump into a victim, feeding into the very narrative his supporters thrive on. And when Fareed admits it, he's conceding that the left's heavy-handed tactics did nothing but reinforce the grievances of Trump's base. This is the exact backfire the Democrats never saw coming.
And as his indictments grew, his campaign contributions surged and his poll numbers solidified. The final error is a more diffuse one, the dominance of identity politics on the left, which made it push for all kinds of DEI policies that largely came out of the urban academic bubble, but alienated many mainstream voters. There's an irony in claiming to be pro-Latino by insisting that people use the term Latinx only to discuss.
The left's obsession with identity labels is alienating the very people they claim to champion. The irony here is huge. By pushing language and ideas that don't resonate with Latino voters, the Democrats come across as disconnected elitists. Fareed is admitting this without fully owning up to the damage it's caused. This woke approach costed them the support they desperately needed, and they're too stuck in their ways to recognize that.
Discover that Latinos themselves think the word is weird. This kind of obsession made Democrats view people too much through their ethnic or racial or gender identity, and it made them miss, for example, that working-class Latinos were moving toward Trump perhaps because they were socially conservative, or liked his macho rhetoric, or even agreed with his hardline stance on immigration. One of Trump's most effective ads on trans issues had a tagline:
Kamala is for they, them. President Trump is for you.
The problem is much deeper than simply one about nouns and pronouns. The entire focus on identity has morphed into something deeply illiberal, judging people by the color of their skin rather than the content of their character. Similarly, university speech codes and cancel culture have become ways that the left censors or restricts that most cherished of liberal ideas, freedom of speech. One simple way to think about the lessons of this election is that liberals cannot achieve liberal goals, however virtuous, by illiberal means.
Fareed's final words here strikes at the heart of the problem. By pushing illiberal policies under the guise of progressive goals, the Democrats have alienated the very people they claim to represent. This is Fareed's way of admitting that the left has lost its way, sacrificing liberal ideals for the sake of control and moral superiority. This obsession with controlling narratives and social dynamics has only empowered Trump, making him the alternative for those who feel stifled. Fareed is trying to warn his side, but it's a warning they're unlikely to heed. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts or opinions down in the comments below if you agree or disagree with a lot of the points that were made in this clip or this video. Be sure to give us a like and subscribe, really helps out the channel, and we'll see you guys in the next one.